Let's play My Mother Told Me. Now this may sound like a children's song. It's actually a traditional Scandinavian song, and maybe you've seen it before on Vikings. The tuning I'm using is the same tuning I'm using on most of my videos because, again, I don't like to change tunings. That tuning will be the first 6 notes of a major scale from strings 2 through 7. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Now the last string and the first string are going to be an octave apart, so the first string is going to be an octave lower than string 7. So we're going to be using that minor mode, or Aeolian. So that first string is going to be our droning string occasionally, but that's going to be the first note of the scale. Now your lyre might be recommended for a different key, so don't tune higher if you want to match me. Tune down, but really you don't need to change the key. Just make sure the relationship between the strings is the same. The melody is going to be fairly simple, and it just repeats a couple times depending on who's singing it. Now we have to omit one of the notes because we only have so many melody notes as we do on many of our Lyre songs, but it doesn't make a huge difference here. So here's how it's going to start out, and here's that note we're leaving out. You hear that pause? That's where we're leaving out a syllable. Let's do that again. Starts on 4 and walks down. Then we'll do the next section. Then repeats that first section again. Now we're going to go high because we don't have notes lower down. So we're going to go up an octave here. Now let's put it all together. Okay, there it is. Next, let's add a bit of harmony. And we're going to do a really simple harmony. We're just going to drone the first string because that's the first note of the scale we're in. So every so often, we're going to drone that bass string. And here's how that's going to sound. Next, if we want to, we can change the harmony a little bit near the end, where we could do maybe an A chord. That's going to be string 3 and 6 together. We're going to add that at the second to last note change. Here's how that's going to sound. So the beginning stays the same. There we just switched the first string for the third string to change the harmony a bit. If we want to, we can take that 1 and 4 note dyad, that's 2 notes put together, and turn it to a full chord. So this is the 6th degree of the major scale I'm working in, so this will be a 6 minor. It'll be strings 1, 2, and 4. Now we're going to start and end the first line like that, so it'll go like this. Okay, start out the next line the same way. And here I'm going to use another variant of that. We're going to play strings, let's see, 2, 4, and 7. Then I'm going to stay on that high string, go to that A chord, or for some of you it's just going to be a 5 chord. And then we're going to go back to that 6 minor, but we're going to do strings 1, 4, and 7. So at the end of that second line, just to recap, we've got strings 2, 4, and 7. Then we go to 3 and 6, and now we're going to go 1, 4, 7. That way we can get that bass drone nice at the end of it. So that's another way we can do it. As far as the way I'm going to play it, I like to play it with a few less notes than the number of syllables. So I'll put the extra syllables you could pluck in parentheses in the tablature, and I'm just going to play the notes that I think are going to give it a little bit more gravity. Now let's put it all together, and let's do it in the right fashion. As far as the chords are concerned, we're going to use the same chords that we're using when we took the melody and combined it with the harmony. We're just isolating that harmony section. So we're going to use a B minor chord, at least in my tune. That's going to be a 6 minor chord. That's going to be strings 1, 2, and 4. My mother told me. Then we're going to do strings 1 and 2, and then back to 1, 2, 4. So the first half of the verse will go with this. My mother told me someday I would buy. So we have that 6 minor chord twice, then it switches and goes right back. The second half, we're going to do the same thing, except instead of switching to 1 and 2, we're going to switch to 3 and 6. That's probably familiar if you were playing along with the melody, and then back to that B minor or 6 minor again. So let's put it all together. My mother told me someday I would buy galleys with good oars and sails to distant shores. There you go. Of course, we could play the opposite if you want to think out the opposite. I probably won't be able to get it on my first try here, but what you're going to do is put your fingers on the opposite string. So if you want 1, 2, and 4, you can put your fingers on strings 3, then 5 through 7, and now you can strum it. And then we're just going to move over our index finger to get that next chord. My mother told me someday I would buy. I'm not too worried about that 4th string staying open. I'm just going to leave it open. Second half, same thing, but then you move your finger over to get that string, 3 and 6. And I'm going to use my first finger to block off the first 2 strings because I'm out of fingers. So I'm going to use that 1 finger for 2 strings. And then I'm just going to go right back to where I was. Da, 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 da. It's going to take me a little while to get the muscle memory down. But there's your idea. That's the idea. So practice it both ways if you want to play the harmony with it. As always, if you found this video useful, be sure to like and subscribe. That always helps out. And I'll see you in the next one.